about what I will personally label the idiocy of Team USA women's basketball. How dare you?
Buckle up, because Stephen A. Smith just unleashed a revelation so explosive that it sent shockwaves through the entire sports world. According to him, Caitlin Clark has officially walked away from Team USA after the stunning decision to exclude her from the Olympic roster. Let me make this absolutely clear. This is no longer rumor, no longer fan speculation, no longer social media noise. This is coming directly from the most powerful, most influential voice in sports commentary, the guy whose words can shift entire narratives overnight. Stephen A. is confirming what millions have suspected for weeks. Caitlin Clark is done chasing validation from an establishment that clearly never wanted her in the spotlight. The most marketable athlete in the sport, the woman who was supposed to lead women's basketball into a new global era, has gone completely quiet. And yet the silence around her is nothing compared to the earth-shaking repercussions of this decision. This single move has completely shifted the future direction of women's basketball. So now the real question is on the table. Do you think Caitlin Clark made the right choice by distancing herself from Team USA? Or should she have stayed and fought for her place? Let me know your honest take in the comments.
She's white. And because of that, when you consider some of the hard times other people gave her, they were resentful of the fact that this white girl came on the scene where there was a bunch of sisters that preceded her spanning decades that were big time that deserved a lot of credit. I mean, people looked at the Cheryl Swoops of the world, the Maya Moores of the world, and others, and they said, yo, there was a bunch of people that came before her that did big things for the WNBA. I respect it. It is right. I appreciate it. But whiteness does have its privileges, especially when you got a game. And what a lot of people weren't willing or were a bit reluctant to appreciate was the game on this young white sister of ours. She can ball. And oh, by the way, she was a great ambassador for the game. And by the way, she came in there and looked out for everybody else. For 22 years, they couldn't get chartered flights. That sister got there and it was done in 2 weeks. That's who.
To fully grasp the size of this situation, you need to understand two key figures, Caitlin Clark and Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. doesn't put his name on something just to stir chaos. He knows exactly how to control the sports conversation. But when he pushes a narrative this forcefully, with this much fire behind it, that means something massive is unraveling behind closed doors. His latest tirade about Clark and Team USA isn't simply a disagreement over a roster spot. It's a spotlight on years of deep, unaddressed friction within women's basketball, the kind of dysfunction insiders have whispered about for decades but never dared to expose publicly. The Olympic roster reveal was supposed to be simple, predictable, routine. A handful of names, a day or two of light reaction, then the world moves on. But that isn't what happened. Not even close. When early leaks confirmed that Caitlin Clark, the athlete who single-handedly revived arenas that sat half-empty for 20 years, had been left off the squad, the world didn't respond with mild surprise. It erupted. Fans were furious. Analysts were stunned. Even casual spectators couldn't wrap their heads around it. How could the most electrifying player in women's basketball be left off the world's biggest stage?
What the hell is going on with WNBA that they cannot handle all this attention that they're getting, as well as the hate and anger towards Caitlin Clark?
When it comes to Caitlin Clark, now I've taken hits because I was calling it from day one. You got people that are resentful towards her. It's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents. Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level, and they never got this kind of shine. This girl, the Golden Goose, comes along, and she wreaks havoc. She's a star caliber player who draws this attention. And maybe it's because that fan base that she has and her being a young white lady contributes to it. So what?
From the moment the committee released their explanation, the excuses felt flimsy. They leaned on buzzwords like experience and 3-year commitments, hoping those phrases would shield them from outrage. And sure, on paper, those arguments sound reasonable, if you ignore the very obvious context. Here's the truth. Their reasoning collapses the moment you recognize who Caitlin Clark is. You don't bench a Michael Jordan-level draw because he's new. You don't tell a generational talent to wait their turn. When a once-in-a-lifetime player appears, you showcase them to the world. That's how every major sports league grows its audience and cements its future. But that's where everything turns darker. Insiders quickly revealed that this wasn't an oversight. It wasn't misjudgment. It was a calculated message directed at Clark, her fan base, and the overwhelming spotlight that follows her. According to sources, the committee feared how certain veteran players would handle the media frenzy Clark naturally brings with her. They didn't want the cameras. They didn't want the attention. They didn't want the shift in power dynamics. So instead of embracing the sport's biggest marketing gift, they protected the comfort of established stars. And that's what pushed Stephen A. Smith over the edge. He called it out for what it was, a catastrophic decision rooted in ego, not excellence. Smith obliterated every excuse they offered. The Olympics is the biggest global platform women's basketball gets every 4 years. It's a moment casual fans tune in. It's the moment the sport expands. And the committee's reaction to having a superstar who could elevate the entire event? They left her home.
But are we really trying to grow the game? Because this is the most popular women's basketball player in the world, and it ain't close. They had to move the Mystics game to an NBA arena. Name the time. And I'm going to turn it over to you because I don't want to get long-winded. I want somebody, one of our women colleagues, Stephen A., to tell me when a WNBA game has had to be moved because of a woman player. Just one. Just tell me one. Because I know in her attendance, she's averaging about 17,000. All the other WNBA games in which she's not a participant average about 7. So are we really trying to go the game? Is that what we're really trying to do? Or are we just talking about we're trying to grow the game and just bullshit?
If we're going to tell the truth about why Caitlin Clark isn't boarding a flight to Paris, we have to address the most uncomfortable factor of all: jealousy. The WNBA elite will never admit it publicly, but it's the only explanation that ties everything together. The warning signs were there long before Clark's first pro game. Diana Taurasi, one of the greatest ever, famously warned Clark that reality is coming. It didn't sound like guidance. It sounded like resentment. Cheryl Swoops questioned Clark's college legacy in ways that felt oddly personal and unnecessarily hostile. All of this happened before Clark even stepped onto a WNBA court. Why were these legends so bothered? Why target a rookie before she even took a professional shot? Stephen A.'s theory is blunt. The old guard resents the attention Clark receives, attention they never got, despite suffering through years of low salaries, empty arenas, and commercial flights. And now here comes a 22-year-old phenom flying private, signing multi-million-dollar contracts, and having fans line up for hours just to see her warm up.
But the WNBA does. You got a max salary at $250,000. You had attendance, although it was trending in the right direction, certainly wasn't where you wanted it to be. And as Shannon pointed out just the other day, you got a team in the Indiana Fever with their struggling selves, struggling to win a damn game and be relevant. No team in the WNBA was worse other than the winless Washington Mystics, okay? And they went from 4,000 in attendance to 17,000. This girl is box office. I said a rising tide lifts all boats. What you do, especially if you're Team USA and you're trying to be globalized, and it's an opportunity to globalize the WNBA brand. So people like Brittany Griner, you know, God bless her soul, and others don't have to go to Russia in the.
From a human standpoint, it makes sense. Anyone would feel a sting of envy watching a newcomer instantly receive the recognition they spent 20 years trying to earn. But the reaction from certain WNBA players has been the opposite of what you'd expect in professional sports. In most leagues, veterans welcome the rookie who brings new money and attention. Tiger Woods didn't just elevate himself, he elevated everyone on the PGA Tour. His competitors loved him for it because he multiplied their earnings overnight. But in the WNBA, instead of embracing the massive wave of revenue Clark brings, some seem intent on punishing her for it. And that tension has spilled onto the court in ways that are impossible to ignore. Clark is routinely targeted with physical aggression that goes beyond standard tough defense. The Kennedy Carter hip check, delivered off the ball with clear malicious intent, became the poster example of how differently Clark is treated. Instead of condemning it, many players and commentators justified it as welcome to the league. Stephen A. Smith pointed out the hypocrisy. If someone cheap shot LeBron or Steph, the league would hand out suspensions immediately. But with Clark, silence. This ties directly into the Olympic roster situation. Why would Clark volunteer to spend a month with teammates who have targeted her physically, disrespected her publicly, or stood by as others attacked her? The Olympic team is full of players who contributed to her hostile work environment. There is no trust, no chemistry, no desire to play alongside those who want to see her struggle. Then came the final blow, the alternate spot rumor, a token gesture meant to quiet public outrage. Clark reportedly declined without hesitation. She refused to be anyone's backup. She refused to sit on standby, waiting for an injury. She chose self-respect. Stephen A. all but confirmed this. Clark understands her power now. She is the WNBA economy. She doesn't need Team USA. They needed her. By staying home, she sends a silent but devastating message. You made your choice. Live with it. NBC will suffer the ratings loss. Team USA will lose millions in potential viewership. The committee will have to own the consequences of their ego-driven decision. Meanwhile, Clark will rest, recover, and remain the most influential figure in women's basketball, without playing a single Olympic minute. So the question remains, do you support Clark's decision to walk away from Team USA? Comment below and don't forget to subscribe for more updates.
You make decisions, marketing. I want people watching. I want eyeballs. I want advertising dollars. Why? Because he'll get paid. Y'all will get paid. And guess who else will get paid? You see where I'm coming from? That's what it's about. Stop acting otherwise. We know this. You don't sit up there and pass on Caitlin Clark. It was stupid, Team USA. It was a dumb